Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you very much for your continued support to this channel. When Bomula MP Wamani Wamboka took a motion to the National Assembly for consideration to impeach the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Mithika Linturi, for mismanaging fertilizer and allowing fake fertilizer to get its way in the supply chain, he persuaded the House and 149 MPs voted in favor of that consideration to impeach Mithika Linturi against 36. And according to the Constitution, this meant that a special committee of the National Assembly was supposed to be formed to investigate whether the grounds that were given by Wamboka met the threshold for impeaching the cabinet secretary. And from the onset, you could see, because the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, announced that the UDA, being the majority party, would have the lion's share of the committee members, 6 of them, and Azimio would get 4 of the slots. Then Jubilee, that had been declared by Moses Wetangula as an independent candidate, got 1 slot. And it was said that Kimani Ichung'wah was responsible for selecting members of the UDA, or Kenya Kwanza, selected members carefully. And according to one of the committee members that spoke to the nation on condition of anonymity, said that the members were selected not to investigate, but to exonerate Mithika Linturi. And this committee was being led by Marsabit Women Rep Naomi Wako. And after giving the rules, the rules of engagement, they retreated into one of the hotels in Mombasa Road to write a report. And according to the Constitution, they were to write a report within 10 days that elapsed by Friday. So Saturday and Sunday was not a working day, and they were expected to give us a report on Monday as to whether they had voted, because of the 11 of them were to vote and write an individual report as to whether they felt that the grounds that were given by Omani Wamboka met the threshold for impeaching Mithika Linturi. But then, ladies and gentlemen, the breaking news that is given here is committee saves Linturi's job in scandal over fake fertilizer. And it further reads that Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithika Linturi has been cleared of any wrongdoing in the scandal regarding the sale of fake fertilizer to farmers under the national government-sponsored subsidy program by a special committee of the National Assembly. 7 of the 11-member committee voted to save Mr. Linturi from impeachment. So that means that the 6 members of the Kenya Kwanza team voted to exonerate and to save Linturi. And the one member from Jubilee also joined them to save Mithika Linturi. So Azimio were left alone. The 4 members from Azimio voted to impeach him, but as they say, minority will have their say, but the majority will have their way. So as it is and as it stands, the majority has had their way. Now, according to Article 152(9) of the Constitution, it states that if the select committee reports that it finds the allegations unsubstantiated, no further proceedings shall be taken. So this means that the matter will end there and cannot be reintroduced in the life of the current parliament. So Mithika Linturi is safe, because had the committee come with a report that they found grounds to impeach Mithika Linturi, then they would have allowed him time to be heard, to defend himself, and then they would have taken to voting. And out of the 349 MPs in the House, a majority of 176, if 176 vote to impeach, then that goes without saying that he would have been impeached. But as it is, ladies and gentlemen, Mithika Linturi is safe, and he has been exonerated, and he has been vindicated and saved by the Kenya Kwanza members of parliament. What exactly does it mean? This is what I want us to look at. As we do this and we delve and expand on this discussion, allow me to request you very fast to subscribe to our channel. You can only render this channel by subscribing. Don't just watch and go. Subscribe, click the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release any video. If you love our shows, you can share our videos, but on this one, please give us many likes. Ladies and gentlemen, Kimani Ichung'wah had selected very carefully this team, the 6-member from UDA, and of course the one from Jubilee, and they were given instructions to save Mithika Linturi. Now, even before the voting, Wamboka, who was leading or heading this impeachment motion, had cried foul. And it was because earlier there was a verdict that was made, because Wamani Wamboka had requested the committee to allow him cross-examine the principal secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Rono, because Mr. Rono works together with Mithika Linturi in the same department, same docket. It should be noted that when this fake fertilizer scandal first came up, Mr. Rono was urged to stop the distribution of this particular fertilizer in question, and he immediately wrote a letter to the National Cereals and Produce Board to stop distributing this fake fertilizer or this fake fertilizer as they investigate this matter. But in a quick rejoinder, the Mithika Linturi, who is the ministry, did another letter saying that there was no any fake fertilizer, and that he gave the National Produce Cereals and Produce Board the green light to continue distributing this fertilizer. In fact, he further added that this was just but a mere Azimio propaganda, and it was baseless, together with people like Dennis Itumbi. So when Wamboka requested this committee to allow Mr. Rono to come and testify against his colleague, the same voting pattern, 7 of them, 6 from UDA or Kenya Kwanza, and the 1 from Jubilee voted saying no. And from the onset, you could know the direction this was taking. Ahmed Nasir, lawyer, had also alleged that these members, the 11 committee members, had been given 5 million Kenya shillings each. That was totaling to 55 million shillings to save Linturi. And I had earlier analyzed that Ahmed Nasir was not being honest. Based on the voting pattern that we had seen, if there was any money that was circulating and that had exchanged hands, then it only meant that it is only Kenya Kwanza that might have taken this money. So, ladies and gentlemen, it means, number one, that William Ruto has saved Mithika Linturi. Because if he wanted Mithika to go, he wouldn't have instructed Kimani Ichung'wah to carefully select members who would save Mithika Linturi. So William Ruto has saved his cabinet secretary. From the onset, when 149 members voted, allowing a committee to investigate Mithika Linturi, William Ruto was alarmed, and he knew that this was not taking a direction that he wanted. And those are the kind of phone calls that were made very quickly, and he has saved him. You cannot convince me. If William Ruto wanted Mithika Linturi to go, he would have instructed them. People have been asking, when Kenyans are crying foul and farmers are complaining, why couldn't Ruto sack or relieve Mithika Linturi of his duties? So, number one, William Ruto has saved him. Number two, the fight against corruption is still a challenge in our country, and I don't think we are going to win this battle. When you want to fight corruption, the common mwananchi will be looking at you. And if you continue saving people who have got questionable characters, people are tainted, you retrieve people from jail, you capture institutions, independent institutions that are supposed to help fight corruption, like the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the DCI, and the courts, people understand. I remember one of a judge that was handling Kimorera and Aror Dam complained that the very independent institutions that are supposed to help us retrieve money that have been stolen are the ones, and she was very specific that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is being used to sabotage cases, and she was wondering why would that office bring cases that they don't want to pursue to the end. So we still have a challenge fighting corruption. Now, corruption cases will still be handled as mere supremacy battles, that we have the numbers, you cannot defeat us. The UDA and Kenya Kwanza will still vote enthusiastically to save their people. And the other thing is that it will always take a tribal turn. Remember, the members of parliament or leaders from Meru had gathered and they were saying, you cannot impeach our man, all this is malice. And that is why I'm telling you that in Kenya it is good to be a thief. When you are corrupt, your community, your ethnic group will come and start demonstrating that this is our man. In other words, they're saying this is our thief. We still have a long way to go because the commitment must start from the top. Even if you speak a lot and issue warnings and tough talks, people are watching. If you don't crack the whip, if you're still protecting the people who are corrupt, then we don't have a country yet. I also want to implicate Ahmed Nasir. He had indicated that all these 11 members were offered 5 million Kenya shillings. And I said that on the contrary, I cannot rule out the possibility of money exchanging hands. But then, the Azimio could have not taken, because if they had taken the 5 million each, the four of them, I can assure you that they would have voted to save Mithika Linturi. But they have voted to impeach him. It is only that they were overwhelmed by the numbers. And Ahmed Nasir should be very careful, because I thought that he was preparing us that Mithika Linturi was going to be saved, except that he didn't want to mention and point accusing fingers to the right people. We can now safely conclude and deduce that the 5 million that Ahmed Nasir was talking about only exchanged hands from the source, or between the source and the members of parliament from the Kenya Kwanza team. We are looking at this kind of voting pattern when we already have Finance Bill 2024 that we even want to try and debate and vote on. It will go through just like the Finance Bill 2023 that contained a lot of taxes. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mithika Linturi will continue bragging, will continue talking tough, will continue blaming Azimio as being propagandist, because he shall continue serving the Kenya Kwanza government. He will continue serving Kenyans, and his office will continue to be maintained by taxpayers' money. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what you think about this. Ile system ya jambazi is real.